Hey y'all, I just wanted to get on here and talk to you about the benefits of intermittent fasting and some of the research I've been reading recently. I thought I would wear pink because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and talk about what intermittent fasting does for you, the benefits as far as, and nutrition to prevent cancer or prevent recurrence. And that is breast cancer or any kind of cancers. Okay, so I just wanted to hop on here a second. I have a few notes that I took to keep me on track, so I may refer to it off screen every now and then, but I wanted to just wait a few minutes to see if anybody else is gonna watch. Let me know you're watching if you are, and because I think this is a very important topic, and I want us to be able to prevent what we can to have preventative health in our lives, and we're just really focus on that instead of uh-oh, something is wrong, uh-oh, I have a spot on my breast, or I have a lump on my mammogram, or I have something, I've had extreme weight loss and it's not because I've been trying, something's wrong, I'm fatigued. So I just wanted to talk about ways that we can prevent that kind of thing, and possibly with our diet and our fasting and different things, ways to prevent. Okay, so here we are. So during intermittent fasting, let's just talk about, first of all, cell resilience and health, okay? During intermittent fasting, cells respond adaptively by enhancing their ability to cope and stress, maybe to resist disease. Similarly to exercise, the immediate shock to the system allows the body to get stronger over time. So fasting causes cells to initiate the waste removal process that is called autophagy. During that process, the body cleans house and starts the repair process. So when we fast, we are able to give our body time to do what it was designed to do, which is clean out and repair. If our body is always focused on digestion, which would mean when we're eating all the time, then we will the body won't have time to get those bad cells and do that autophagy process to clean them out, and those cells could potentially cause cancer and other health issues. So that is the link there as far as intermittent fasting and possibly cancer. And there are some research out there, research studies I've recently read. I'm going to put them in the notes and some links to some different sites on prevention and things that you can do. But I'm really excited about these studies, and I'm going to cite some of them here for you. So let's just talk about cancer and breast cancer in any kind of cancer. It's really been linked to be only 5 to 10% genetic, because I notice as a practitioner when I ask patients, did your mom or dad have cancer? And they're like, no, and then they do. So I agree with that. I've seen that the incidence in my own practice isn't really a huge thing with genetics, and that means like if your mom and dad had it, you may have it. You are at higher risk, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the only way you get it. So other things impact our bodies, like our diet and our environments and things we're doing, medicines, different stuff. So we want to make sure we pay attention to our diets and our habits. And part of our diet is the food we take in, and then our eating window, how often we eat and what we're doing with that. Okay, so there has been research that says that fasting has been linked to a 36% drop in recurrence of cancer. So people who had cancer at one point, they received a diagnosis, they were totally cleared or in remission from it, and then they started getting it, or they started doing the fasting. The research showed that this was linked to a 38% reduction in recurrence. Like if you had a group that was fasting and a group that was not, those were the ones who had the fasting had a lower rate of recurrence of cancer. So I think that's amazing. So if you can do anything to prevent it from coming back, why wouldn't you, right? Okay. Another research study that had to do with rats. I know this is crazy, but they injected rats with tumor cells, both cancer cells, all the rats had the cancer cells. And then they let some of them eat whenever access to food for 24 hours, and some of them only had access to food for 8 hours. And the ones who had access to food for the 24 hours had increased incidence of tumors. So all of them had the abnormal cells, but the ones who ate all the time in any 24-hour window, they just ate whenever, whatever, they had increased risk of cancer, tumor rate, evolving into cancer. So that is another study, and I can post the information about this. So I just want to say that people who fast have lower rates of cancer recurrence and occurrence. So those are two amazing things that I'm excited about. Okay, let's talk about other benefits of intermittent fasting. I love it. I do it myself. I eat in an 8-hour window and I fast for 16 hours. That 16 hours includes my sleep, so it makes it easier. So I'll skip breakfast pretty much and then start eating at noon. Other things that intermittent fasting can help with are, we already said the autophagy, which is the decrease or flushing out and removing the bad cells that could cause potential cancer and other diseases. It's the body's way of cleaning out the cells when it's not focused on digestion, because it'll have to focus on digestion and put blood flow to your gut and stuff when you're eating. But when you give it a rest, it does what it's supposed to do. The next thing is it increases lean muscle mass. So that's really great because that helps us be strong, have tone. Everybody wants to be toned. Nobody wants their arms to be jiggly or whatever. And we want to, lean muscle mass burns fat quicker. It will burn fat for you, like when you work out with weights, it will burn fat for you over 48 hours. So the more lean muscle mass you have, the better. And another thing is that it will also... decrease the risk of Alzheimer's-like behaviors. So especially people who have a family history of Alzheimer's, or they know their parents are getting older, or you're getting older yourself, you may want to consider intermittent fasting because it will decrease your risk of Alzheimer's-like behaviors. And that's amazing. If you can do anything to prevent losing your memory and prevent not being able to recognize your loved ones and remember where your keys are and all these things that have to do with Alzheimer's, then that would be amazing, right? Those two things, cancer and Alzheimer's, they're scary and nobody wants to have them. So if we could definitely prevent anything like that, that is good. Another thing is intermittent fasting decreases insulin resistance. And what that means is insulin is a hormone in your body that your body uses all the time. You eat, your blood sugar levels go up, your insulin rises to lower your blood sugar levels. That's how it works. But if you have insulin resistance, means when your blood sugar goes up, your body cells don't respond to the insulin like it's supposed to. Then your sugar goes up and up and up, and that is either diabetes or at risk for diabetes. And if you could do something to prevent that, that's amazing. So intermittent fasting helps decrease insulin resistance, and it also decreases insulin levels. So it keeps you leveled out. That's part of the help with the hormone function that it helps with. Another thing, like I said, hormone function, it also can help with thyroid issues, hormone regulation with thyroid issues, and estrogen. So if you have menopausal symptoms, intermittent fasting may really help you be able to sleep better, have less hot flashes, and that kind of stuff. So consider that. A lot of huge benefits. I said, and I'm going to put some links to different kind of research about intermittent fasting and breast cancer prevention, other cancer prevention in the comments of the video after I'm done with the live. So be looking for that, okay? Another thing I wanted to talk about is tips to prevent cancer in general, and the top tips are for us to have a more plant-based diets or more whole food diet. And the reason they say whole food is because of our plant-based is because some of the meats that we eat have the hormones and can throw us off with that, and antibiotics and things that aren't necessarily great for us. So we need to be selective on meat and then have more plant-based or whole food diet. And it's because that helps with hormone regulation, and it can, if we detox from the processed foods, the body doesn't know what to do with the processed stuff. It knows what to do. That God could design our body to know what to do with plants and that, fruits, vegetables, and meat that God made. But when we have all the processed things, our body doesn't know what to do with it. And it either stores as fat, stores the bad stuff that's in it in your body, and doesn't eliminate it because it doesn't know what to do with it. That's why when we convert over to a regular, a more healthy whole food diet, then we start having a detox process because our body's like, oh, I can start letting go of this stuff. You're actually feeding me things that I know what to do with. Let me just start letting go of this sugar and chemicals or whatever it is that it's holding on to that you've been eating or putting on your body. So next thing we can do to prevent disease and cancer is to exercise regularly. And that doesn't mean be in the gym an hour a day. Like with faster rate of fat loss, what we do is a 25 to 30 minute workout that gets your whole body moving and works your whole body, and you're able to burn fat and do it quickly. And we don't work out every day. We focus on maybe taking a walk during our rest day, but we're not working out all the time, and we are strategic with what we're doing. So moving your body and getting a regular exercise 5 or more days a week is important. We do it 5 days a week. Another thing that is important for prevention of cancer and other disease is watching your weight. I know everyone has heard this before, but in the end, exercise and diet may play a greater role with weight management in breast cancer prevention. They said that overweight women who exercise 150 minutes a week and eat lots of fruits and vegetables have a lower risk of breast cancer, and normal weight women that are sedentary and have low intake of fruits and vegetables. So even if you are 100 pounds, you're skinny, and you're watching this, or I want you to know that you are not at risk, you are not healthy. You may not be healthy, okay? Because you need to be eating the fruits and vegetables and moving your body more so you can prevent disease. I know people who have had heart attacks who have been real skinny and moved around, was on the go, but they didn't eat what they were supposed to, and they didn't exercise like they were supposed to, and they were in the inside not healthy. So you may look skinny, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily healthy, okay? Another thing I wanted to tell you, the last thing that we recommend, or these recommendations I've looked up has said, is to limit alcohol. And that just is a good tip for anyone. It puts extra calories on you. It is not natural. Most of it is not natural. It's a process. So you may not even know what's in it. So it's good to limit it if possible. The last thing I wanted to recommend is for women, the screening test for breast cancer, in particular, since it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You want to go and get your mammogram, and it says on the recommendations from American College of Gynecology, which is what I would usually reference if I'm doing women's health. It says every 1 to 3 years for women aged 25 to 39 years old, and then annually for age 40 and older, and no later than age 50 years. So you at least at age 50 have needed to have a screening mammogram. And the other thing would be to stop mammograms if your life expectancy is less than 10 years. So if you are 95, you could probably stop your mammogram. If you're 80 and you don't really have longevity, you have a lot of other comorbidities, you could probably stop your mammogram. So anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know about those things. And I wanted to make the point too, I have a round of Faster Way to Fat Loss starting October 7th. If you have considered this at all, I would love for you to be in my group because it implements exercise, whole food diet, and a lot of education on nutrition, as well as how to exercise, how often, when to exercise, how long to exercise, what to do. And it is a really great lifestyle change if you're interested in changing over to whole food, and you need coaching and accountability with that. And it will also implement the intermittent fasting, teach you how to do that, as well as coaching, and I can help you in any way I can when you're in my group. Or if you have any questions here, please post those below, and I'll put a link to my group registration for Monday. And let me know if this has been helpful. Talk to you soon. Bye.